What is up there, everyone? It's the guy from No Gamer Tag here, and I'm here for another commentary. Today I'm gonna look at what I think needs improving in the games that I currently play in their next-gen versions. The games I'm gonna focus on in this particular commentary is Call of Duty and Battlefield. They are two completely different games. I'm not going to compare or contrast them. I'm just gonna say the small things in the games which I feel do need to be fixed. And I'm gonna start off here with Battlefield. There's likely to be some problems in the beta. I'm not saying that as a criticism. It's a case of that is usually a trend. There are going to be some problems in betas. From videos I've actually seen from actual people who've played Battlefield 4 early, the main problems is currently with jet skis. They are not easy to maneuver, and there are currently some you do get system crashes sometimes with some of the evolution. That may just be because current generation systems can't quite support it, and we haven't actually tried the game on the next generation systems, so the PS4 or the Xbox One. So yeah, that might be something that you will have to watch out if you decide to get Battlefield 4 for the current generation of consoles. It might not work very well. I'm not sure though. It may work perfectly. It's just currently on the systems they're using, they have had a few crashes. When it came to balancing, they had a few initial problems. They had a weird glitch with the M26 mass underbarrel shotgun, where every pellet in the buckshot spread did 98 damage, so it was incredibly overpowered. But that was fixed. They usually do fix all the gun issues. It's just, if they can eliminate those before the game comes out, that'd be brilliant. I have seen some gameplay with the M416. That is one gun that I would like to mention. It is a very good gun. The problem is, it's very good at close range and at long range. I think as a weapon, it should be, as an assault rifle, it should be a bit more balanced out, and it shouldn't be as good at both things. From what I've seen, it is very good at long range for an assault rifle. I don't mean like sniper rifle long range. No one even bothers trying to fire sniper rifle long range with assault rifles. But hopefully they give it a bit of a nerf at close range, because otherwise it will be really overpowered, and that will make it extremely annoying. The main problem that really has been with Battlefield is actually been in the community. It's not the community as a whole, it's just certain people in the community do kind of ruin it for other people. There have been a lot of people who've been driven away from the game because of how some of the community treats it. And it is the elitist fanboys. Yes, this game is realistic compared to other games, but it is no way realistic. There are still massive differences between real life physics and in-game physics, and that is what they don't seem to understand. And the fact is that, in fact, when you look at it, the environmental damage in Call of Duty Ghosts and in Battlefield 4 is exactly the same. It's just there's a lot more programmed in Battlefield 4. If you say that in a Battlefield forum, you will get completely ripped for that. But it is the truth. They just don't seem to be able to accept that that is how it is, and that is how the game is programmed. And the people in the community, they feel that it's their game and they don't want it ruined, because you've got a lot of people in the community, well, not a lot of them, but the people in the community that do this, they say to people, we don't want all these COD players coming into our game and ruining it. Now, I'm sorry, just because we play COD does not mean we are going to ruin Battlefield. I started playing COD, it was the first shooter game I ever got. I now play Battlefield, and I'm actually genuinely probably a better player at Battlefield. It is a case of adapting playstyle. A lot of COD players tried it and they went away from it because they didn't like the pace. So it's not a case of COD players are going to ruin Battlefield. It's a case of, if it's a COD player that who plays in the style that they don't like, doing the whole quickscoping everything, the quickscopers are not going to stay in Battlefield because they don't like the game. Then the elitist fanboys, they just can't accept this, and they rip everyone who is a COD player that moves to Battlefield because they're like, oh, we don't want them ruining our game. Though, now moving on to Call of Duty, I'll start off with the community. Admittedly, the community in COD is not perfect. There are still these kind of fanboys and also trolls in the community, which are very annoying. You will get a lot of people who will just watch to hate, and then they will just be like, oh, I hate this game, I'm playing it, but I really, really hate it. I have been a victim of I have done this. I have played Black Ops 2 for a while and I hated it. I did complain for a while, and then eventually I just gave up and stopped playing it. But there are people who just hate constantly, And they also need to stop calling people a dipshit just because they've made one mistake. Yes, people make mistakes. You do not need to keep on constantly insulting them because they made one mistake in a comment they've made. That is one of the main problems I see in the COD community, which is very annoying. Now, actually moving on to the actual game problems that would need fixing. The playability, like going back and just continuously playing the game because you want to, it has been something that hasn't been so strong recently in the recent games. It did work in the original games, and it was quite fun to prestige, but now it's kind of drying up a bit. And you find that if you've played a game for its cycle and then you decide to play it also for the next year, you will burn out on it and it will just not be half as fun as it used to be. And that is a problem. I find that actually challenges in game are the best way to keep someone playing the game. I really enjoy doing challenges. That's why I've been able to carry on playing Modern Warfare 3. Apart from the fact that that game for me is the most fun to play. It just gives an extra layer, an element of, oh, I want to do this, that's why I'm going to play the game. And that was something that was lacking in Black Ops 2. The challenges weren't like tricky enough. They would just get a certain amount of score, get a certain amount of kills. They weren't really specific. This is something that is also needed a bit more in Battlefield. I really hope they put in more of the assignments they do, because they are really challenging and they are quite genuinely fun to do. That is one of the things that they do need to fix in Call of Duty. It's just how to get people to constantly play the game. A lot of the ways they've been doing it in the current game is, oh, we'll just bring out more DLC, oh, we'll bring out more camos. That's the only way they've made people play the game more, is to get that, and I have not fallen for that. Originally I fell for the DLC. I bought a season pass and I regret that so much because I've wasted my money. And I'm not making that mistake again with COD. There's also gun balance. I feel that in Modern Warfare 3, Infinity Ward did generally, on the whole, a very good job of gun balance. There were guns which did stand out too much, but they were still beatable. The ACR could have easily been nerfed if they'd just given it some recoil. The MP7 could have been easily changed if they just reduced its range. Type 95, that was a tricky one. I would have probably decreased its fire rate, if I'm honest. That would have been the way I'd have balanced that gun. But in general, they did a good job. They made it so you could use any gun you wanted. You could use a pistol if you want, but it was very challenging, which was one of the fun aspects. If you wanted to use a pistol, you had to be very accurate and very sneaky with it. There's also a case of high kill streaks do cause problems in the game because people will camp to get them. Admittedly, I do that. I will, if I'm trying to get a high kill streak, I'll camp to get it. And that is just simply how it affects the play of the game. The one thing I'm really worried about for Call of Duty Ghost is the field orders thing, where if someone dies, they drop a briefcase containing a challenge. If you complete the challenge, you get a care package. From every gameplay I've seen from it, it seems that the first care package always has a KM strike, which is basically a nuke. And that is a bit stupid. That's not randomized at all, and I think that would want to be changed. Hopefully they were doing that just for display purposes, but it is going to be quite annoying if someone just gets a really easy challenge like kill an enemy while crouched, and then they can get a nuke from that. That's not really fair. And generally, some of the game mechanics do need to be fixed. The hit detection, I found that is actually down to lag, because a recent bit of news was that they were testing out dedicated servers on Black Ops 2. From playing it the other day, I did find that to be true. The connection was greatly improved. I wasn't getting shot through corners, and the hit detection was great. The reason why I stopped so quickly was because the game is still generally broken to me, so I didn't get any fun from it. But the connection has improved a lot. If they are using servers, then they expect a decent connection. It was quite smooth and it was very playable. And they just need to really make sure that things are balanced, and if the connection or the camera angles are wrong, that they are actually fixed and we aren't just completely ignored as a community. I mean, Activision told us that it was all in our heads, but we've had about 1 million over 1 million videos that prove there are problems with the game. Anyway guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. It was kind of long, but it just expresses my views on things that will need to be fixed in these two games. Please leave comments on like anything you know or you think should be fixed, and please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in another video.